This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA-Holes!
Mixed Martial A-Holes! MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial A-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
Boom, 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 boom.
No way.
From the Queen Studios of New York, Khabib versus GSP. Is Artem Lobov the GOAT? UFC 230 Fight Week. MMA news with the MMA. Hello, JBH.
Hello, Mystic Moss.
How are you tonight?
I am always wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
How are you tonight, Mystic
I'm wonderful,
Moss?
wonderful as well, JBH.
That's
We have
great,
another
Mr. Moss.
sexy show as I am wearing all the belts tonight. It just so happens to look just like me. It's amazing. Jessie,
Yessie.
I'm telling you,
Yes.
craziness
Mm-hmm.
to talk about. An hour of swole sexiness, and I cannot wait. It is the beginning of the week, and what way to spend it? What better way to spend it than with the MMA-Holes?
Yes.
We have UFC 230. That is this Saturday. CES. John Gotti will be fighting again. We will be live at that event broadcasting.
Yes.
Also, that day, which I found out today, John Jones versus Gustafsson and the Cyborg and
Say boy.
Amanda Nunez will be having a press conference the
Correct.
same day.
Correct.
So maybe we'll watch it on the way to CES, or unfortunately we can't live stream, but we'll be at CES for that. So that's an exciting thing to watch.
Indeed.
Artem Lobov fought this weekend.
Oh,
Indeed.
super chat.
He's my girl.
You got my food, you little ginger bitch. I'ma sit on you.
There's Big Ebony Honey Bun. Thank you for the donation.
You got
Appreciate
her
it.
food?
I do, yes. I picked up a bucket of chicken, and Big Ebony and myself
Picture.
will be will be indulging in that. Thank you for making Connor fly. It's just that easy. Thank you, Big Ebony Honey Bun. And if anyone else would like to do that, super chat and link in the description. Yeah, UFC Vulcan, what's it called in Canada?
Moncton.
Moncton. Oh, that happened with Oezdemir
Yeah.
versus Anthony Smith. Fantastic fight over there.
Indeed.
A lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Some MMA news
True.
and Khabib
Khabib.
versus GSP.
Yes.
What? It really looks like this fight's going
Twat?
to happen. I saw
What? I can't hear you.
Ali Abdelaziz
Yeah.
was saying he has something special right around the corner for the kids, right? And he put a picture of like Khabib and it was Tony Ferguson,
Correct.
right? So I got really excited. My testicles swelled with cum.
It's not gonna happen.
Oh, I don't know.
Not gonna happen.
This is not confirmed yet, although sources are saying that this will happen.
It's pretty close to being confirmed.
My question is this, though. Why would Ali put Tony Ferguson and Khabib? Let's go to Ali's Instagram. Ali?
Because he likes to create a hype.
Where is it? Where'd it go? What, he fucking took it down.
Bum, bum, bum.
What the hell? It's gone. So well, there goes that. Yeah, he's like big news. He put Khabib and Ferguson.
He's a liar.
And now it's not even on his Instagram. So yeah, I guess this is
Liar.
happening. Habib versus George St. Pierre.
My two favorites. That's right, internal. It's my two faves.
Hmm.
My two top threes.
Wow. So there you go. Take Tony right out of the picture. Kind of sucks,
Yeah.
but that opens the door to other things.
I would be excited to watch this.
GSP versus Khabib.
Yes.
Okay. I'm interested in this. Excited? No. Interested?
You
Yes.
would not be excited to watch that fight?
No. Not excited, but interested. Very different things. I'm very interested, but I am not. I'm not wake up in the morning like, yes.
I feel that once the news, when it becomes official and the hype starts building and the stories start building and everything like that, I feel the closer we get, the more excited you may become for this fight.
Listen, I'm going to be excited about streaming for it. I'm always excited to watch a fight, but I am not excited for this fight. I feel that Khabib versus Ferguson was the fight to make, needed to happen, and it doesn't look like the UFC wants to take another chance for the fifth time.
Well, would you?
I say yes, I would.
Fallen through every single time they've made an attempt.
Well, you have a standby. You have someone on standby.
But it doesn't do it justice when everybody wants to see Khabib Ferguson. You know, it just doesn't do it justice.
I'd rather take that chance. I'd rather see GSP versus Askren. That's what I would rather see.
Really?
Yeah, I'd rather see GSP versus a DIAZ brother, or a repeat of a DIAZ
GSP versus Khabib.
I am not against it, but I am not like, yes, I can't wait for this. A 170 who just fought at 185. Fighting at 155?
No, that wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
That is the speculation because nobody's released any details on the fight. I'll tell you about it. Do you want me to tell you about it in the news?
Yeah, I'll pull up that that article over there on the news, JBH. And thank you for joining us tonight. Let me know in the chat if you're excited about GSP versus Khabib. But, I mean, where is this fight going to happen? How's this going to happen? I think this is how this is going to happen. People are speculating saying 155. Somehow GSP is going to make that weight. I say... Sega. What happens.
Sing that song now.
No Reading Rainbow. I say what happens is GSP fights Khabib at 165 at some sort of catch weight. It means nothing for Khabib if he takes an L. Yes, he loses for the first time, but he doesn't lose his belt. And I feel like this is just going to be a bullshit fight. That's what I think. So I kind of don't want to see it. Now, if it's at 155 and somehow GSP finds a way to get there, it adds a little more intrigue because now a belt's on the line and GSP has won a belt at 155 as well.
Wouldn't you be more worried about Khabib getting there than GSP?
What do you mean?
At 155? Because Khabib has a hard time making weight.
GSP was a 170 fighter, welterweight. He fought at 185.
Yeah.
His last fight and beat Michael Bisping and took his belt.
Right?
Now he's got to go down to 155?
I'm just saying, wouldn't you be more concerned about Khabib?
No, I'd be more concerned about GSP dying.
Have you seen GSP lately?
Yes, he looks like a Somalian, and he's been in and out of having medical conditions and all that stuff. But I think Khabib is going to be hitting weight now. I think he understands what he has to do. He has the right people around him. He's going to be making 155. He says he has no interest at fighting at 170. He said that before. So 165 at a super money fight. Maybe he has interest in something like that because he doesn't have to put the belt on the line. That doesn't entice me. It doesn't tickle my penis. What tickles my penis is if they fight at 155, yes. Let me know in the chat what you guys and gals think about this. Jesse, before you read that chat room, 20 likes.
20 likes.
I've got
20 likes.
20 likes. 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes.
20 likes.
I
hope that this lifestyle of leprosy.
Thank you for the likes, 80 watching. Welcome to the show. Let's see what the chat says.
Legacy says it's Sean Hart. Chris, next time Jessie yawns, stick your dick in her mouth to teach her a lesson, says Christopher Shelton. T-Joint says Khabib has anal warts. I'm so confused, says Internal Shan Wiz says I will take GSP gymnastic skills over Khabib's bear wrestling skills. Stalio2 says Tom Brady is a pussy slayer. 20 Dykes says Boneyard Militia. Vigo Stockholm says, oh, I missed it, Vigo, sorry. Kevin Goza says Nate versus Ferguson in a battle of wits. Tin Man Bigfoot Tracker says talk in the mic, Jack. Marky Wahoo says only fight to make in UFC are Max versus Ortega, Woodley versus Khabib, Askren versus GSP I could care less about. Sean Hart says GSP would belt him in his prime. Duke Chronic says Khabib is a one-trick pony. C. Johnson says MMA sucks. Real says what's it like to have a small penis? Ann H says hello Chris and Jesse. It is win-win for Khabib, says Yusuf. Do it, Conor versus Diaz, another BS fight for no belt. Just so happened to be one of the biggest fights ever. I think it brings massive eyes, says MMA Buds.
It should, in theory, bring a lot of eyes, right? It should, in theory, bring a lot of eyes. But GSP was one of the biggest draws out there. Khabib has proven that he's been able to pull some views. I mean, look at Ali Quinta, right? When he fought Ali Quinta, he pulled some views. Fuck guys, right? We already have the circuses and stuff like that. Khabib is 27-0 right now, right? As champion. If he wants to fight for legacy, make it at 155, right? What kind of, like, what with the legacy going up to a weird weight class, catch weight, probably going to lose against GSP. I mean, let's be honest, right? Khabib's great. He's very, very good. But GSP is not a one-trick pony. GSP, I mean, do you think that Khabib's going to beat GSP?
I think he has a very good chance. Yeah.
Yeah, if they fight at 155, he has a shot. If he fights at 165 or something else,
I think even at 165, he could have a chance.
Oh, everyone has a chance. Artem Lobov had a chance against Michael Johnson.
Why ask the question then?
But what I'm saying is, do you think he will beat him?
Yes, I think it's possible that Khabib will beat GSP. It's very possible.
I think it's impossible. That's what I'm saying. I think it's absolutely impossible. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it is any. Honestly, Khabib, he could fight at 170. You know,
right.
He's a big 155er. He could fight at 170. GSP is GSP. Now, if you drain him down to a 155, then we kind of level it out a little bit, right? Because now you have a very depleted GSP, right? You have a scrawny, oh my God, how the fuck did I make this weight GSP? Which I don't think he's going to make 155. I know he's walking around at 165 now and he says he can do it. But I mean, that's a lot of fucking weight to cut. And I don't see him doing it. I really don't see him do it. Let's see that article over there, Jesse.
I don't shit on GSP's ability to win the fight. I'm just saying.
Hold on, we got a super chat coming in.
Khabib versus Ferguson. That's what real men want.
It is. I mean, let's be honest here. This is the fight everyone wants. Why do we not want Khabib versus Ferguson? It's the fight we've all been dreaming of. Right? They're two best 155ers going at it. If you want to see circus fights, you know, GSP could fight anyone. Let Conor McGregor do all the fucking circus fights, right? Let him play around and do circus fights. Here's the question. If GSP fights Khabib at this weird 165 weight class, or even at 155, does this mean that we're going to see Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson? Because Conor said he wants to fight the next one. Does this mean that Diaz kind of gets pushed to the side and Conor McGregor is actually going to get in the cage with Tony Ferguson?
You tell me.
I don't know. Is Conor McGregor that crazy to get in the cage with Tony Ferguson? I don't know. Usually I could say, yes, Conor's going to take this fight. What makes sense for Conor is Diaz 3. That makes total sense money-wise. And, you know, he could do that whole trilogy thing, get it all out of the way, do it at 155. Okay. But does this mean we're going to see Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson? That'd be insane for Conor. Especially that they have the same management team, right? Don't they have the same people backing them? It's crazy. Imagine Khabib versus GSP somehow at 155 and then like a co-main event fight of Conor versus Tony Ferguson. Whoa. Well, then we're talking about a crazy card, right? What do you think the odds of Conor versus Ferguson?
I didn't even finish talking about GSP. I have no idea. I don't know.
All right, so finish about GSP.
No, I'm lost now.
You're lost?
Yep.
I just blew your mind.
No.
A lot of shit going on.
No.
A lot of things trickling down. Where does Tony Ferguson go? If Conor fights...
Would you like me to read you the article?
Well, no. Well, the article... Yeah, we can read the article in a second, but I want to know your opinion. If Conor does fight GSP... GSP does fight Khabib, then where does Tony Ferguson go? He's in limbo. Does he fight Conor? Think about it.
I'm thinking.
All right, we're going to put it on Jessie.
What do you want me to say? Why are you going to put it on me?
Because I want to know. Do you think that's what's going to happen?
What, that Ferguson's going to be in limbo?
No. Is Conor going to fight Ferguson?
I don't know.
What would be next for Tony Ferguson then?
I have no idea.
How dare you? No idea. In the chat, let me know what you think then. And we're going to go to the article about GSP versus Khabib that looks like it is a definite fight that will be happening. The question is what weight class? We'll find out soon. What's up in that shot?
Born Militia says Kiesa sucks. I have a big wiener, says Michael J. Duke Chronic says Conor loses a lot of fans if he fights GSP. Tin Man Bigfoot Tracker says Moody. Schlagboy says if Khabib is unstoppable at 155. I think 165 would cause him some problems with GSP and Askren in the mix. Focus Chris says internal. I like Wiener says gay Asian drunk savage says Ferguson versus Diaz would be a banger. Marky Wahoo says Ferguson will start calling out Woodley at 170 if he gets screwed again. He's a fucking ass birth cocksucker. But the guy works hard. Woodley is a horrible matchup for Khabib, in my opinion. Ferguson T. Wood. Kevin Cosa says Tony Ferguson stops fighting and becomes a model for sunglasses. Michael J's laughing in the chat. JBH, great move dodging that question, says Sean Hart. Thank you, Sean Hart. XGhost22 says my West Coast balls was hot. Matt Sarah destroyed
JBH
GSP.
is like,
well, you were kind of all over the place.
what do you mean? How is it all over the place? I'm saying
no,
if
like
Khabib,
your mind is all over the place.
If Khabib, no, but it's a good question though. If Khabib fights GSP, who the hell does Tony Ferguson fight? Does he fight Diaz? But that would make no fucking sense. Then it means he's gonna fight Conor, and that would make no sense for Conor. It's such a dangerous fight for McGregor, right? Conor, I mean, listen, he doesn't really turn down opponents. But against Tony Ferguson, man, it just doesn't. That seems like suicide right there. I mean, I'm sure Ferguson would love something like that. Seems like goddamn suicide. What else do they say in the chat?
Michael J says wonderful, wonderful. Vlad showing an astonished face in the chat. Staley2 says Vlad Eddie is a solid fighter. Steve Johnson says Chris is very focused and possesses an extremely powerful mind. Hashtag gay agent. Internetless cussing in the chat. Beware says Steve Johnson. Anyone here? Jewel says Michael J. Connor should stop fighting, says Vigo Stockholm. Duke Chronic says Tony stands and bangs. Christopher Shelton says, Jesse, tell me something about Arizona, please. It's hot. Drunk Savage says, Duke Chronic, I didn't even think of Nick. I like that idea. Kevin Cosa says, so you're saying McGregor is not a great fighter, eh, Chris?
Here's the thing. I think at this point in McGregor's career, I think he has, 5 fights on his contract left? Or it was a 5-fight contract, so I think he's at 4 left on his contract, right? What makes sense is there's going to be a Diaz trilogy. It's got to be. But if weird things happen, we're never going to see that trilogy. I thought that McGregor-Diaz was going to be the next thing. That was going to be the next, saga. Complete the trilogy and then see what goes on after that. McGregor says something about him fighting. Okay, I can't get the Khabib fight. I'll fight the next in line. Well, that's fucking Tony Ferguson, right? I mean, it's very obvious that's Tony Ferguson. I didn't want to bring up McGregor tonight because we do have the story about Khabib and GSP, but it can if it fights outside of 155, at 165 or 170 or whatever, it's probably gonna be a catch weight. I'm thinking, and it makes more sense for Khabib to do it at a catch weight because then he doesn't lose the belt. But what happens to the rest of that division? And Tony Ferguson never lost the belt. He technically is a champion, right? He never lost the belt. It just 155 is such a fucked up weight class right now. What is next? I feel the GSP versus Khabib fight, it sets us back. I don't really care about that. I want to see Khabib versus Ferguson. It just is the only thing that makes sense. But now I'm thinking we might see GSP versus Khabib, right? And co-main event, Conor versus Tony Ferguson might be something at a co-main event, which is just insane on a card. Could you imagine something like that put together? That'd be bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Not a good move for Conor, though. Not a good move. El Kakui is, and I said this many of times, before Conor even fought Khabib, I said Tony Ferguson is the best 155er. I said it multiple times. He is the best 155er. And that's a scary fight for Conor over there. All right, let's see what we got on the message board. Let's hear more about this Khabib versus GSP, Jesse. With the news. The MMA-Holes Hour. Monday night with 100 people watching. Jesse?
According to BJPenn.com, after the biggest fight of his career at UFC 229, UFC lightweight champ Khabib Nurmagomedov now seemed destined for continuing the trend of landing fights that are on that same level. Nurmagomedov has always had his sights set on taking on the ultimate challenges and has never shown fear when doing so. One of the challenges he has made it clear that he would like to take on is arguably the greatest fighter of all time, former UFC welterweight and middleweight champ George Rush St. Pierre. Despite having top contenders waiting in the wings of his class of 155 pounds, such as Tony Ferguson and Dustin Poirier, it seems like the UFC may be interested in heading a different direction, as MMA Team Dagestan has now reported that Nurmagomedov versus St. Pierre is in the works. No other details are known at this time. MMA Team Dagestan put on Twitter, Khabib versus GSP in the works. This is all that is known in the moment. MMA Team Dagestan often covers and breaks news related to several top Russian fighters and prospects. Some stories including Mark Hunt replacing Fabricio Verdum against Alexei Olenek at UFC Moscow, as well as Alexander Volkov being the backup for Daniel Cormier or Stipe Miocic at UFC 226 if needed, and of course Nurmagomedov's big UFC 229 bout with Conor McGregor. The most interesting thing about this fight being discussed, or any fight involving Nurmagomedov for that matter, is that he has yet to receive his punishment from the Nevada State Athletic Commission for his post-fight antics at UFC 229. His punishments, which are likely to be a fine and suspension of sorts, will be decided on December 10th. St. Pierre hasn't fought since UFC 217 in November 2017 when he defeated Michael Bisping to win the middleweight title. He would vacate the title only for a month later due to his battle with ulcerative colitis, which is something St. Pierre continues to deal with even now.
So, Jesse, what do you think? Where is this happening? Is this going to happen at 165 or 155? If it was a gun to your head, what would you think?
I would say 155 probably.
155. So, chat room, what do you say? It looks like it will happen over here. GSP versus Khabib. We've seen stuff like this before fall apart, but right now it's looking pretty good. And Ali says there's some big news. Really bizarre how he puts Ferguson and Khabib, but now it is GSP, Khabib fighting for, we don't know, a belt. We don't know what for, money. We have no idea yet, so we'll find out soon. Jesse, what else do we have in the news?
According to MMA Fighting, Ben Askren plans to prove his greatness without fighting Tyron Woodley for the UFC welterweight title. Ben Askren has taken aim at just about every welterweight in the UFC roster except for one glaring omission, the champ Tyron Woodley. Askren was a college wrestling teammate of Woodley at the University of Missouri. The two are good friends and currently still train together. Askren is frequently in Woodley's corner for bouts. So despite Askren coming to the UFC following a groundbreaking trade with one championship that will send Demetrious Johnson to one funky, will not be trying for a UFC 170-pound title fight anytime soon, at least as long as Woodley is the one holding the belt. He said, quote, "Me and Tyron aren't fighting. It's simple." This is what Askren told Luke Thomas on Monday's edition of the MMA Hour, following that up with, "We are not fighting. We are not fighting. No." Askren is the former welterweight champ of both Bellator and ONE. He is undefeated, a former Olympic wrestler, and has started the UFC run in a blaze, calling out just about anyone with a Twitter handle he may end up fighting. At the top of his list are UFC lightweight champ Khabib Nurmagomedov and former UFC welterweight and middleweight champ GSP. It's unclear if those are legitimate potential first fights for Askren. That's okay, though. The Wisconsin native has called out many others, including Colby Covington, Darren Till, Stephen Thompson, Jorge Masvidal, and Conor McGregor.
Sean Hart says, Jesse, slow down the news. Jesse's flying through the news tonight. But Ben Askren, Dana White's saying that Ben Askren is going to be fighting a top 5 at welterweight over here. I think he, like, a Masvidal is something that really sticks out. That's something that really stands out there for Ben Askren. I don't think you just throw like a title shot at him or something like that. You let him get his feet wet within the UFC. He is 34 years old, but let's see some, people lower down the list. Well, top 5 is pretty impressive at 170. Who is the person that you would like to see Ben Askren fight? Let me know in the chat. Jesse, is there anyone that stands out at welterweight?
I'd like to see him fight GSP.
GSP?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we know that's not going to happen, and not
or
yet.
Khabib.
At least. But he did call out Khabib. Well, GSP is going to be fighting Khabib, so if that does happen, GSP. As much as I want to see that fight, it's probably not the fight that's going to happen. They're probably going to throw someone, like Dana White said, maybe you're Wonder Boy. Who knows? I mean, imagine Wonder Boy striking versus Askren's snuggling. That could be interesting. There's a bunch of options at welterweight. Let me know in the chat what you guys and gals think. What else do we have in the news?
According to Bloody Elbow, Dana White says Demetrious Johnson never got the love and respect he deserved from fans. It's no secret that Demetrious Johnson was never a popular UFC champ. In his record-setting run atop the flyweight division, he headlined 4 pay-per-view events, the top-selling among those, his title defense against Chris Carriazo at UFC 178, which still only drew a paltry estimate 205,000 buys. Why it is he never clicked, however, is a topic of a bit more for debate. Many fans and pundits have laid the blame at the UFC itself and their seeming inability to turn obvious talent into a marketable headliner. In a recent interview with TMZ Sports, however, President Dana White put the focus squarely on fans themselves. He said, quote, "Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, the kid broke the record for the most title defenses, and I feel like he never really got the love and respect that he deserved from the fans. And I don't know if he's always thrilled being here, so hopefully he's a lot happier where he's headed now. His longtime trainer and coach is an executive over there, so maybe he'll be happier over there." Yeah. To White's point about Mighty's possible unhappiness, recent reports cite DJ's self-described disinterest in what staying in the UFC could offer him for his career. Damon Martin posted on Twitter saying, quote, Demetrious Johnson says there was nothing there to go back and fight Henry Cejudo for a third time. He beat him once already. He knew if he went back and won the belt again, he'd have to stay in the UFC.
I like it for DJ. You know, it's a good career move going over there. He's going to get paid. The guy deserves every cent that they're going to throw at him. I mean, he's a fantastic fighter. Took an L against Henry Cejudo, but it was a close fight. He smoked Cejudo the first time, holds the record for the longest run at mini weight. And it's going to be tough to see him go because saying goodbye to Demetrious Johnson means saying goodbye to 125. It's that simple. I mean, we spoke about this before. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. I say pull out the fucking start the wake, right? Start the wake for 125. Let's gather all the MMA holes and rest in peace 125-pound weight class because it's no longer. It's gone. It's sad. It really is sad. I think they're gonna try to keep it going as good as they can, but no one's gonna give a fuck about them anymore. Demetrious Johnson was the face of that division, even though he lost. Henry Cejudo, likable guy, fantastic fighter, tough as nails, but he is not the face of the 125. He's not marketable in my opinion. I don't know what it is about the guy. Maybe because he looks like a miniature Dos Anjos RDA. You know, he looks like a mini RDA or like a Frankenstein looking guy with a big head, and he just like he has these very monotone, doesn't give a fuck. Mighty Mouse wasn't very outspoken, but he was spectacular in the cage. You know, like this picture over here is one of the most perfect pictures. This submission, that flying armbar that he pulled was fucking Jesse. It was this. See this?
Perfection.
It was this. Now, on iTunes and Podbean, you can't see what I'm doing, Jesse, but maybe if you could do a play-by-play of what I'm doing right now. Ready? Hold on.
He puts his fingers together and brings them to his lips.
All right, hold on a second. I'm going to put the Chris Cam on. Okay, ready? Go ahead.
All 5 of his fingers put together as he brings them to his lips puckering up, touching the tips of his fingers. And he kisses and fans out his fingers to the audience.
It's a beautiful submission. Mighty Mouse, it's going to be a shame to see him go. And, good for him. Now, Ben Askren coming in. What happens if Ben Askren comes in, right, and just catches that horrible L? Right? He's never lost. And he just gets smoked.
He might.
He fights Masvidal, gets smoked. And then they put him up against someone else, like a Robbie Lawler, say, and just gets fucking annihilated. Then what happens? That kind of sucks. Well, that didn't work. Like that really blows. I think the UFC has to make sure they put Askren in the cage with someone that's a no-brainer to be lopsided in Askren's favor. Some people in the chat I've seen say Darren Till. Darren Till wanted to go up to 170.
Well,
I like that.
Askren did call out Darren Till.
Yeah, I like that as well. I'm on board with that. We've said that actually on previous streams as well. Darren Till coming up to 170. You got to fight a grappler. How about Ben Askren? They're talking shit online. They've been going back and forth.
Can I just pause the show for 1 minute?
Why?
Happy birthday, Michael Anzalone.
Wait, what? Hold on a second. How do I stop the fire? I can't even stop the fire. Michael Anzalone's birthday is tonight?
I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is tonight.
Chat room, we need you to confirm this. Swole MMA hole Michael Anzalone. There's been breaking news that it is his birthday tonight. We need to know. Michael Anzalone, is it your birthday tonight? Jesse, what's going on in that chat? Any answers?
It's Michael Chapman's birthday, too.
And no one cares about him.
Only people who stand a chance to be Askren or Colby or Usman, says Kevin. Internal says no.
Internal says, well, Internal, no one listens to Internal. No one cares about him.
Mr. Michael, have a great one, says Sean Hart.
Let's see. Hold on. Here we go.
It is. I was right.
All right. Yes. See? Internal's a faggot. Michael Anzalone, happy birthday, motherfucker. Timestamp this because it is the greatest day on earth. The day that swole timestamp king, Michael Anzalone, has been born. His face came out of his mother's pussy today. He was like, hey, here I am. I'm here. Timestamp. Michael Anzalone, happy birthday, motherfucker. From all the MMA holes to you, Jesse.
Jesse.
Look into the eyes of the Anzalone.
Of the hands alone.
I didn't wear. Oh, you're wearing my face as well. Nice job, Jessie.
I know.
Maybe you have something to say to Michael.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Michael Anzalone. Happy birthday to you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
There you go, Michael Anzalone. Happy birthday, my friend. Appreciate you living. What else do we have in the news, JBH? The MMA-Holes Hour.
According to
super chat.
Real.
God bless Donald J. Trump.
There you go. God bless him. Okay. Thank you, Real. Appreciate it. All right. What else we got in the news? Thank you. Appreciate it.
According to my MMA news, Sijara Eubanks takes issue with Joe Rogan's, quote, disrespectful comments.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yes. Sijara Eubanks isn't thrilled with UFC color commentator Joe Rogan. Eubanks was initially going to take on Valentina Shevchenko for the vacant UFC women's flyweight title. The matchup was scheduled to headline UFC 230 on November 3rd, but...
Uh-oh! Marky!
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Choo-choo.
Motherfuckers.
Marky Wahoo?
MMA should have a merger like the NFL did and have a supercard every year. March Madness Super Bowl hybrid. Happy birthday, Michael Anzalone. Clinking glasses.
There you go.
like 217, like a super card at the, like in November of every year.
That would be cool. Yeah. Well, they have those specific
UFC
months. Was it June or something like that? There's certain months that they hit that they try to load up a card. But yeah, I'd
That'd
be
be
interested. In that.
cool.
March?
Yeah.
No one. I can't
Like
remember
one-
the last March that it was a super. Actually, wasn't Boston? I think I went to Boston for a March card. I don't even remember. No, it was in January. I can't remember. Every March. I wish every month was a super card. If we have to pay fucking $70 for a pay-per-view. But I like that idea. Happy birthday, Michael Anzalone.
Eubanks was initially going to take on Valentina Shevchenko for the vacant UFC flyweight title. The matchup was scheduled to headline UFC 230 on November 3rd, but it was met with a ton of resistance. The UFC decided to book a heavyweight title fight between champion Daniel Cormier and Derek Lewis. Sijara Eubanks is still not happy with Joe Rogan. When Eubanks versus Shevchenko was first revealed, Rogan said he'd never even heard of Eubanks. During a recent appearance on MMAfighting.com's The MMA Hour, Eubanks made it clear that she isn't letting that comment slide. She said, quote, Joe's going to know. Joe knows who I am. He knows who I was before I said it. He didn't have to say that on his blog. I thought it was disrespectful, so I'm not happy with Joe Rogan. He can't avoid interviewing me. One day he's going to find himself in the cage with me and a mic, and I'm going to let him know exactly how I feel. End quote. Eubanks will remain on the UFC 230 card. She'll do battle with Roxanne Modafferi. The bout could very well have title implications. Shevchenko will do battle with Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the vacant UFC Women's Flyweight Championship at UFC 231 on December 8th. Eubanks was initially set to fight Nico Montano for the 125-pound gold back in December 2017, but she fell ill while cutting weight.
I tell you what, this guy has a lot to say, right? It's ridiculous. This dude really doesn't know how to shut his mouth, you know, Jesse? Right?
For a second, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This guy over here. Well, what, like, first of all, came out of nowhere, was going to get a title shot, and then all of a sudden this dude just won't stop. I mean, credit to him for, talking his way onto that card, with Roxanne. So he deserves that fight. But what the
Have
fuck?
you heard her talk? She's very, she's got a very ghetto tone to the way she talks. I heard her with ARIEL HELWANI.
Well, I mean, what would you expect from the guy? I mean, what do you expect? Of course. I mean, why would he not have that tone of voice?
That's terrible.
What's terrible? This guy over here, Jesse. Isn't this the guy you're talking about? Yeah. I mean, does anyone care about him? I don't know. I mean, maybe he's something. I don't know. I'm not sold. We'll see how he does against Roxanne, right?
Yeah.
What else do you have in the news, Jesse?
All right. According to Yahoo Sports, UFC Hall of Famer Stephan Bonnar detained on a DUI and resisting arrest charges.
Why am I not surprised about this? I don't know why. He looks like he should be drinking and driving, right?
Right.
Stephan Bonnar, the guy that is in the Hall of Fame because of one fight. Okay.
UFC Hall of Famer Stephan Bonnar was arrested Sunday afternoon in Las Vegas on 3 charges, including DUI. The Clark County Detention Center shows that Bonnar was held on DUI, resisting a public officer and unsafe movement of a stopped vehicle. TMZ reported that Nevada Highway Patrol officers told them that Bonnar, who is 41 years old now, was driving around 90 miles an hour in his Cadillac CTS on Interstate 15 around 1:15 p.m. when concerned drivers managed to surround his vehicle and restrain him until police arrived on the scene. Bonnar appeared incoherent when officers arrived, according to the report, and resisted when police placed handcuffs on him. Bonnar was a star of the first season of The Ultimate Fighter in 2005, where he finished as the runner-up and earned a 6-figure UFC
We got a super
contract.
chat coming in.
Hey bro, have you heard Jessie fart?
No.
I've smelt it.
No, you haven't.
Thank you, Shifra.
Have you?
What's that? Have I heard you?
I don't think you ever have. I'm pretty respectful.
Well, no, I've heard you echo in the bowl when you put the Alexa on. I heard you serenade the bowl.
Yeah.
It was a cute serenade. Yeah. Thank you for the donation. What else happened with this Stephan Bonnar? So you got a little bit of trouble, huh? G-Man. G-Man coming in.
Sijara, beat me in the nuts with a hot tire iron.
That's actually a true story. That really did happen. G-Man, thank you for the donation. Did you know that was a true story, Jessie? Did we play the 40 likes yet?
I don't know.
I don't think we did. Let's play it. You can save the show with 5 minutes left on the clock. 100 watching. Let's dance. I've got fucking 20 likes.
I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
I'm kind of liking the donations tonight. They're pretty funny. I'm digging it tonight. I am digging the donations tonight. Thank you for the comedy. I appreciate that. So, okay, so Stephan Bonnar is detained, DUI. All right, so hopefully he gets his life together. Jessie, what else do we have in the news?
According to MMA Junkie, headed to the UFC, Ben Askren wants to make immature punk kid Darren Till a grown man. From former 2-division UFC champ GSP to current 155-pound title holder Khabib Nurmagomedov, Ben Askren's machine gun of callouts has hit quite a number of targets. And that was before the historic trade that facilitated flyweight kingpin Demetrious Johnson departure to one championship in exchange for former one championship welterweight champ Askren joining the UFC's roster was even made official. With the deal now complete, Askren, who's 18-0 in MMA, already has more directed plan. Talking to MMA Junkie Radio, he said, by the sounds of it, it doesn't seem like he's getting either GSP or Nurmagomedov, so he already had a first pick in mind.
Kevin says Darren Till should go back to Cage Warriors with the rest of the British bums. It's a little harsh, but I agree. Right, Jessie? They're all bums. Sure. All right, good.
He said, quote, you know who I think sounds like an easy target, and I'm kind of picking him out because he sucks? It's Darren Till. And I don't really like him either, so it makes it really easy that I don't like him. I'd like to beat him up. I think he sucks, so it'd be an easy fight. He's ranked very high, obviously. Till is indeed placed very high in the official UFC rankings, coming off a failed title bid against Tyron Woodley. He sits at number 2. As for the reasons why Askren carries such a dislike for Till, well, there's a bunch of reasons. Just click the link on the MMA-Holes.com.
There you go. Jesse, you're very serious about the news today. You're taking it very serious. I like your intensity tonight. You're bringing the heat with the news.
Thank you. I try.
You're bringing it hot and heavy. That's why the table's on fire right now, because your news is on fire. Right? Did you know that? All right, Jesse. What else do we have in the news on the MMA-Holes.com, where we gather info from all around the interwebs? The MMA-Holes.com. Let me give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TygerLyfe Energy and Duplex Entertainment. Links in the description. We got a super chat. G-Man back.
I'm looking for a lovely lady to cop my balls.
Jesse, you have any friends that could help G-Man out?
Check for the nearest hostel in your area.
Hostel?
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. That's Jesse's advice. All right. What else do we have in the news?
According to USA Today Sports, the blue corner, if Brock Lesnar enters the octagon at UFC 230, Daniel Cormier will slap him in the face. We're not sure if Brock Lesnar will be in attendance for UFC 230, but Daniel Cormier says he heard Lesnar will, in fact, be at Madison Square Garden. Cormier's plan, of course, is to go out there Saturday and beat Derek Lewis in the pay-per-view headliner to retain his heavyweight title and continue on the path toward a massive payday by fighting Lesnar early next year. if all goes according to plan and if Lesnar decides to enter the octagon after the fight, Cormier says he'll have something waiting for him.
Imagine this is cock. He's like, hey, here you go, Brock boy. Here's my BBC. Right, Jesse? You know what I'm talking about, kid? Right? Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Jesse? Imagine
Sure.
he has his cock out. Imagine his dick's hanging out. He's like, I got something for you, buddy. No? Is that what he's talking about? Is
Yeah.
that what they're talking about? His cock?
Yeah.
What does he have for him?
According to SiriusXM on Twitter, quote, I heard Brock Lesnar will be at the Garden for UFC 230. If he tries to step in that cage, I'm going to slap him in his face. I owe him one from last time. We already saw how this played out in July after Cormier's win over Stipe Miocic at UFC 226. That was good enough. We also just had a post-fight brawl at UFC 229, so it's just adding to the entertainment of UFC melees.
I'm starting to fall out of love this whole Brock Lesnar thing. I want Brock versus John Jones or nothing. That's the only thing I want. I don't even want to see Brock versus DC anymore. I'm over that. I don't think I was ever really super on that train. I'd rather see Brock versus John Jones for a roided Rumble match, you know? See them both go in there, just old juice to the gills, you know, fighting each other. We have a skinny juice versus a big muscular juice. Just have them go at it. John Jones carving them up and Brock Lesnar crying, because that's probably what's going to happen. But I don't care. I don't really give a fuck about Brock Lesnar anymore. I think we're done with Brock. You know, he's still in the WWE doing his thing over there, making his money over there. The Mark Hunt fight was bullshit. You know, you laid on him, and it was just, it was the worst. I mean, I don't mind humping, but that fight was horrific. It was horrific. And then he pops for steroids from that. You know, like, it's just, I don't really give a fuck. Now, the UFC gives a fuck because of the money, right? You're going to get major ratings, major pay-per-view buys, and all that bullshit. So I understand why the UFC wants to do it. But as a fan, I don't care. I don't care about DC versus Brock. I don't give a fuck about that. What do you think, Jess?
Well, they were talking about replacing DC versus Brock with John Jones versus Brock. Do you not care about that?
I just said that. I'd rather see that fight. But honestly, if Brock Lesnar never fights in the UFC again, I'm fine.
He will.
I'm fine. You don't think he will?
No, I don't think he will. I think it's all entertainment.
Artem.
You can't stop the Siberian Express.
Choo-choo.
Motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Darren Till is trash. He has 2 babies out of wedlock from 2 different women. That's a sign he's mentally retarded. Bill Clinton twice violently raped Juanita Broaddrick in a hotel room. He pinned her down by her wrist and forcefully skated inside.
What the fuck? Oh, God. Well, there you go. Thank you. Wow, Real is on fire tonight. What do you think about that, Jesse? That's a lot of things.
Something new every day.
The skeeting. Yeah, thank you, Real. I appreciate the donation. We have another super chat. G-Man's back.
Sorry, guys, I'm not gay.
No.
I just like when a hot lady ties me up and bashes my balls in with a high heel or a blowtorch tire iron. MMA-Holes for life.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah,
G-Man.
you're totally gay.
Thank you. What's that?
Totally gay.
What do you mean? That's
Totally gay.
I think it's a fantastic thing, G-Man. He likes these things.
All right, I am going to bash in your balls with a high heel or a blowtorch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So,
He
be
likes
ready.
that.
Because
Yeah, he's
it's
into
not gay, so it's going to happen.
Well, G-Man, thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. If anyone wants to interrupt the show with the MMA horror, link in the description and the super chat. All right, I do want to talk about this. This weekend we had some fights, right? And it was a fun weekend, right? We had a good time. We had 16,000 views on that beautiful video over there. Made some new friends. If you're jumping over from the Saturday night's experience, hit me with the ones in the chat. If your first experience with us was Saturday night for UFC Fight Night, Vulcan versus Smith. How about Anthony Smith coming back in the 3rd round, weathering the storm, getting the victory? A lot of people are throwing fights out there. Jan Blachowicz, that people are talking about. We didn't really speak about him. That's a good one over there. Is he going to get an immediate title shot? Probably not. John Jones is fighting Gustafsson. You don't know if DC is coming back down to light heavy. Probably not with that, but who knows? So I'm thinking there's going to be another fight in the mix for Anthony Smith, but kudos, credit to Anthony Smith for getting the big win. Now let's get to the real deal, Jesse. Let's talk about what everyone else is talking about. Artem Lobov, who was actually on our thumbnail as well. All right, we can't dismiss this. Artem Lobov, the greatest fighter to enter a cage, fights Michael Johnson and loses. very shockingly to all of us. We were all very shocked by this outcome, Jessie, right? How shocked were you? I mean, you were just like baffled. Well, you couldn't believe your eyes when you saw this, right?
Well.
That display of martial arts.
Yeah, I was so shocked.
Oh, there he is.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
There's
Choo-choo,
Vlad.
motherfuckers.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Leash.
Thank you.
That's right.
The leash.
Keep him on a leash.
Keep everyone on a leash. JBH over there. Thank you, Vlad, for the donation. Appreciate that. So Artem Lobov fights Michael Johnson, and a lot of people are complaining, right? And I get the understandable complaint in why is this man a co-main event, right? What I mean, yes, he has that link to Conor, you know, training partner bullshit, and he's got this little swag. He's got this Chuck Norris vibe to him, you know? He's got this aura around him. They throw Michael Johnson at him. I kind of feel that was unfair, but it happened. And Michael Johnson did work on Artem. Artem lasted, though. One thing you could say about Artem Lobov is he's tough, right? You can't doubt the guy's toughness. But does he deserve to be in the UFC is the question, let alone be on main cards at co-main events. He headlined a fight with Cub Swanson, for God's sakes. Do you think that Artem Lobov belongs on the UFC roster? And make sure you say the right answer or I'll slap the fuck out of you.
No.
What? You son of a bitch! Oh, you fucking bitch. Oh, you... Stop it! Get off of me! Oh, fuck you! Oh, fuck! Get off of me! Get the fuck off! You fucking... fuck me! Get your finger out of my ass! Get some... fuck! No! Put the proper 12 down. No! Don't, Jesse. Put the proper 12 down. Jesse. Put the proper 12 down, Jesse. Do not drop the... No, please. Whatever you do, Jesse. Do not drop the proper 12. Do you hear me? Put it down. Put it down, Jesse. Put the proper 12 down. Okay. Okay, everything's fine. Okay.
Super chat.
G-Man.
Can a robo bish beat me in the nuts with a pot pan?
I think that we can make that happen, right? Let me know in the chat. Do you think Artem Lobov belongs in the UFC?
Exotic Red X says she sticked her finger in his MMA hole. Sean R says not the grog. Abdel says sounded like Chris was getting raped. Smash him with the bottle says wheezing 336. A cumin says Sean Hart. Annie says LOL with a bunch of laughing emojis. Jay Smooth says LeVar Johnson. Stewie motherfucking Griffin says Greg Ho ass ninja. Johnny Crash says no. DVW drops an emoji. Butterfly Massacre says no. Yes, no one more deserving, says Vlad. Gay Agent says I'm going to jerk off to Chris sounds of being beaten. It depends on what Jesse says, says Internal. Kevin Costa says he should be fighting bums for a change in an alleyway. Says, oh, I already said Kevin Costa. Isaiah Moore says yes as a mascot. Yes, Lobov is great, says Michael Anzalone. Kind74 says fuck no, he doesn't belong in the UFC. JBH kick him in the nuts says G-Man. Nancy Gilly says beanbag porn. XGhost22 says the only thing Artem should do in the UFC is sweeping the damn ring once the fights are done.
All right, let's stop reading the comments. How dare you people are horrible people. You don't understand what greatness is. No one in this room understands that Lord Artem could possibly be the most magnificent fighter to ever step in the cage. And I'm highly disappointed with everyone in the chat, my co-host. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. This man is half man, half goat. He's half man, half farm animal, for fuck's sake. He's mythical. Did you see? Every punch made him stronger. Every time his face bled, he laughed and smiled. This man, Artem Lobov, is a goddamn god. And how dare you disgrace him and say he does not belong in the UFC. I'm just going to move on because I cannot believe this insensitivity in this chat room. With 10 minutes on the clock, at 5 minutes, we're going to start this clock. With 5 minutes left, we'll open up the phone lines if you save the show. Whatever you donate down below, say save the show, and we will be live that much longer opening up phone lines. And I'll take on all of you motherfuckers and talk about the greatest fighter of all times. Jessie, don't brag. All right. WMMAC.
How dare these losers besmirch Lord Lobov?
It's ridiculous. It is when you die, where do you think you're going? Who do you think judges you? It's fucking Artem Lobov, right? I mean, who judges? At the pearly gates, it opens up, and there's fucking Artem.
What does he judge you on?
He judges you on everything you did in life.
Yeah? Like
He
what?
knows if you're sleeping. He knows if you're awake, Artem Lobov. He does. When I went to Catholic school as a kid, you know what they taught me? That Artem Lobov died on the cross for us. But they couldn't nail his arms to the fucking cross because they were too
blasphemy.
short.
What is coming out of your mouth
His arms
right
are too
now
short.
is
You know how the arms are
blasphemy.
supposed to go at the edge of the cross? It went up a little bit higher because
You better
he
be
couldn't reach
careful
the
what
edges.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Lightning might come down and strike you right now.
God is not real. Artem is real, Jessie. Remember that.
That's offensive.
What else do we have in the news, Jessie?
According to my MMA News, Darren Till calls for a stadium fight with Conor McGregor.
Oh, fucking A. What are we doing? There he is.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Choo-choo.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Real.
After seeing 10 different porn movies at the age of 17, I was able to confirm that I have a giant cock. I didn't know any better until I realized what porn stars considered big.
Yeah.
I was crushing their size. My biggest talent dangles between my legs.
Look at that, Jessie. How do you feel? Jesse's soaked right now. What do you think about
That
that?
made me so wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost squirted in my seat.
Yeah?
Ah, super
Speaking of squirting,
chat.
Kevin Costa.
What's up, Jessie? Saved the show. You're welcome, MMA-Holes.
14 minutes.
Hold on a second.
14 minutes.
No,
Thanks
hold
to
on.
Kevin Costa.
It's
14
Jessie.
minutes. Come on.
It's 10:52. It's 10:52. We got to start the clock to save the show. Jessie. He made this mistake
Really?
before. Kevin, I appreciate the donation so much. You are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
But when we start this clock, that's when you save the show. We can't bend the rules here, Jessie. I want you to look them in the eye. Look Kevin in the eye and thank him for that wonderful, wonderful donation. But he didn't listen to the rules.
I'm sorry, Kevin. I tried. Seriously?
Jessie, why have rules? Why even bother having the clock if everyone could just break them? That's how this works. Kevin, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Very generous of you. But the show does not go on until the clock starts. And we have 2 minutes to even start the clock. Speak to me, Jessie. What's the story? Thank you, Kevin.
Darren Till wants a crack at Conor McGregor. Both men are coming off of losses, so the fight could potentially make sense. McGregor was defeated by Khabib Nurmagomedov earlier this month, Saturday, October 6th, in his octagon return. Till was defeated by Tyron Woodley in September in his first ever UFC title opportunity. Both McGregor and Till lost their respective title opportunities via submission. Till is currently debating whether or not he wants to move up to middleweight or remain at welterweight. It looks like the Englishman will be willing to stay at 170 pounds with a potential fight against Conor McGregor. He took to Instagram to propose a stadium fight against the Irishman before his retirement fight. Till wants to bring the UFC to Anfield and pack the 54,074-seat football stadium in Liverpool. He thinks McGregor is the opponent that can make it happen. He said, quote, Conor McGregor before your last retirement fight in Ireland, Anfield, the true gorilla Darren Till said on Instagram. Check out the screenshot from Till's story in which he tagged McGregor saying, quote, let's go and sell it out.
Oh, God. Okay. So Darren Till calls out Conor McGregor. He takes his first L against a wrestler, wants to go against a guy that's severely undersized, right? Against him. So a 185er versus a 145er, right? Or a 155er. Okay, here's where they want to sell out a soccer stadium or a football stadium. I understand why Darren's doing it. Why the fuck would Conor McGregor get in the cage with this giant behemoth of a man? Like I mean, what are we doing here? What's going on? Credit to Darren Till for going for it. You know, it's like when you go to a bar and you start hitting on a bunch of girls and eventually one's going to go home with you. That's what he's doing right here. Man, what are we doing? What are we doing? Calling out Conor McGregor here? What the fuck? Jessie, do you think this is ridiculous?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be excited for it.
Well, I mean, yeah, you'd be interested in something like this, but it's literally a David and Goliath type fight, right? Darren Till is much bigger than Conor, and they're both strikers. So now you have both of these guys. My brain hurts from this fight. It hurts. By the way, speaking of hurt, let's start the clock now. This is how this works. With 5 minutes on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now is the time. If you want to extend the show, you have to say save the show in the donation under 4 minutes and 48 seconds left. Kevin Costa, I apologize, but this is how the rules are of the game. Jessie is sad, I am sad. I want to go longer. So if someone wants to white knight this show and extend it, and we'll open up the phone lines, drop in a donation and say save the show, that amount will be the amount of time extended. All right, Jessie.
Yes.
Do you want to see Darren Till versus Conor McGregor?
Yes, sir.
You do want to see the fight happen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mystic Moss, do you want to see the fight happen? Zero interest. Why do I want to see Conor get completely mutilated? Like, I am a realist right now. Why do I want to see that? Maybe Conor will be faster in the cage, but if Darren gets his hands on him, it's going to be a mauling. It's going to be an absolute... What are we doing? What are we doing?
I just want to see it for the entertainment value.
You want to see it because you want to see this big gorilla just beat the fuck out of Conor. And, yeah, I guess that'd be interesting.
I want to see two Irishmen.
First of all, Till's not even Irish.
Well...
Right? He's British.
He's Irish.
He's a Britishman. He's a Brit.
Okay, semantics. Dude's Irish.
Nah.
Yes, he is.
Nah, he's British.
He's from... Hold on.
He's from not Ireland.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in the United Kingdom, but it's still Liverpool.
Jessie.
That's Irish.
That's like saying me and Ken Shiro are brothers.
Isn't part of Ireland owned by the United... Or isn't all of Ireland owned by the United Kingdom? How does that work? Somebody tell me. Like, don't make fun of me. I'm
Listen,
just uneducated on this, but...
I have good news.
What?
There are
Tell
3
me.
minutes left on the clock.
Are they not both Irish?
There are 3 minutes left on the clock, Jessie.
Scottish, Vlad says. Scottish.
Thank you, Vlad.
Liverpool, Ireland.
Trisket says Liverpool, Ireland. Yes.
I don't know.
Were you just going to drop the mic there on
Yeah.
Liverpool, Ireland? Yes. All right.
Well, you laugh at me, but like, what?
I'm just
are you
looking for
doing?
blonde. No, not there.
What?
Speaking of hair.
So sorry. I'm not educated in everything. Like,
Hold on.
Super
Ladies and
chat.
gentlemen, boys and girls, Harvey Weinstein comes in.
Saving a show will save a casting couch.
Oh.
Save the fucking show.
Save the show! That's right. That is a proper save right over there from Harvey Weinstein. You are wonderful, wonderful. Everybody in the chat, say thank you to the wonderful, wonderful Harvey Weinstein for saving the show. Thank you to everyone who donated tonight. And we are going to go ahead 10 more minutes on this show.
Wonderful.
There we go. That's how it works. Thank you, Harvey. Got the casting couch going. 10 more minutes, Jess. What do you think about that?
I don't care.
Real jumps in.
Stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Save the show just like hookers saved Bell Boulevard. Listen to Chris talking about girls and bars again. We all know he's talking about those Bell Boulevard hookers. By the way, does it get any more trashy than Till? 2 babies out of wedlock from 2 women.
Real. He's. I tell you what, he's killing it.
Okay,
tonight.
guys, you can keep making your jokes in the chat, but I was mistaken by one thing.
I hear Liverpool, Ireland is a beautiful place. This time
Okay,
of year.
you can stop poking fun too. It was a mistake. It was a joke.
No, it's not. Trisket said it's real. Trisket said it.
You're not helping the situation at all.
By the way, tune in Wednesday. I will be JBH. I'm going full blown JBH. On Wednesday night, the 2-hour show, 2 hours of me taking an L because of the Friday show, Food Court Friday. I will be dressing and I will be you. I will transform into JBH, Jessie. How excited are you to have 2 JBHs on one show?
I'm so thrilled.
You're so thrilled.
Thrilled.
You guys be super pumped, no?
Super pumped.
All right. Maybe we should broadcast from Liverpool, Ireland that night.
Maybe you should get your fucking head knocked off your shoulders.
We're going to open up the phone lines. Any more stories tonight?
No.
All right, so I'm going to let this clock go out, and then we're going to
Yeah,
drop
you do
10
that.
more minutes on the clock, and we'll extend the show. Thank you to everyone who jumped in tonight. Appreciate it. Muchos gracias. You're all wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, internet trolls. That's right. We are all trolls over here, and we are wonderful, wonderful. JBH, what's going on in the chat?
John says Moss is going to be pretty grumpy on Wednesday. King says that Jesse wears 14-year-old boys' clothes. It's true. Bonnie Melissa says JBH is on roids.
Well, it's actually reverse. You wear 41-year-old boys' clothes, right? If you really think about it. It's reversed. He might be dyslexic in the chat.
Cool. Not a troll, rather serious, as Steve Johnson. Ducronic says, haha.
Super chat.
We got now and later jumping in to Super Chat.
Got a tan today. Brazil now has a MAGA president. Fire.
There you go, now and later. A lot of political stuff in the chat. Thank you, now and later, for the wonderful, wonderful donation.
Wonderful.
Appreciate it. We have 95 people watching right now. Thank you for joining us on the Monday show. We do this 3 times a week, so if you're not subbed, drop a sub over there. We have audio versions of our shows on Podbean and iTunes. If you can't watch us and you just want to listen, Podbean and iTunes is the way to go, because you could just put your phone in your pocket and just listen to this mess. And the donations are probably the funniest part of this disaster. There we go. Fun fact.
Then stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Choo-choo.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Liverpool is a maritime city in northwest Ireland, where the River Mersey meets the Irish Sea, a key trade and migration port from the 18th to the early 20th centuries. It's also, famously, the hometown of the Beatles.
Thank you. Fun fact jumping in with the facts over there. Did you know that?
The more you know.
The more you know. All right, we're putting 10 minutes on the clock, and we are going to open up the phone lines. I need to know about Lord Artem. Should he be in the UFC anymore? Do you want to see Conor McGregor versus a Darren Till? What do you think of Khabib versus GSP? I want to hear your thoughts. It's late, but we need to hear it. Extending the show 10 more minutes. Thanks to Harvey Weinstein. Thanks to everyone who donated tonight. You are all wonderful, wonderful. Jesse, is that it for the news?
Yep.
All right, so that is it for the news. If you want to check out the stories for yourself, go over to the MMA-Holes.com. Well, maybe I should turn the phone lines on. And that's that. Hey, shout out to our chatters over here. Steve Johnson in the lead, commanding lead, 969 messages sent at number 1. We got a super chat coming in. G-Man.
Hi, Podbean. Take a dump in my mouth to save the show.
Thank you. Thank you, G-Man. Appreciate that. All right, let's open those phone lines up again. Let's see what else we got over here. We also have something that's interesting. We found out that the 7% has grown. Well, they haven't grown. They were 4 point something. What were they? 4 point what before, Jesse? The last time we checked.
4.7.
4.7. Now it's back up to 6.8. Unbelievable turn of events. The females are back. All right. You are live on the MMA-Holes. What's your name and what is on your mind?
What's up? So, I want to talk about this Anthony Smith when people are already writing him off, telling him, oh, he looks bad. They said he wouldn't hang with Oezdemir. Now they're saying, oh, he's not ready for the title shot. He's going to get whooped. Man, they just don't want to see. I don't know what the deal is. They're writing him off right away, just like they wrote off Gustafsson versus Jones in that first fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this dude's going to surprise people. He's athletic enough, and he has good striking. So I think a fight versus like DC versus Anthony Smith, that's a terrible matchup. DC's going to take him down and destroy him. But John Jones, he likes to stand up. He likes to throw elbows and kicks and stuff from the feet. I think that plays into Anthony Smith's style. So I think all these people are writing him off, saying, oh, he's not ready for the fight. He just beat the number 2 ranked guy. Oezdemir is coming off the title fight. So he deserves the title fight. It's between him and Blachowicz. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I tell you what, I completely agree. I am on the Anthony Smith train. Does he beat John Jones? That's a tough one for me, but he does deserve a shot. And the Blachowicz versus Smith is very interesting to me. Very, very interesting. I love that fight. I think it's a great fight over there. But I wouldn't be upset if he hung around and waited for the winner of Jones versus Gustafsson. I wouldn't be upset about that. So I'm with you.
Yeah, but we don't even know how good Jones is going to come back with the steroid situation. Because you remember when he was off the juice and he faced OSP.
Mhm.
He looked very average.
True.
And
That
the
is true.
same with versus Gustafsson. He was off the juice and he looked very average, and a lot of people actually thought he lost that fight. Thought Gustafsson won that fight. So we really don't know what to gauge Jones coming back.
What else you got,
So-
Kevin?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you. What else you got?
This Askren stuff. Darren Till sucks, and I hope Askren faces Till just to shut him up because he's such a bum. I guess I'll leave on that note.
All right, thanks, Kevin. That's Kevin from Chicago jumping in. Jess, let's get your opinion on this. He's dogging your boy here. He's saying that Darren Till sucks and wants to see Askren throw him a beating. Jesse, look the viewers in the eyes right now. What are your thoughts on this?
Darren Till will not be taking a beating from
Whoa!
Askren.
So you're saying if this fight happens, Jesse, because you have some mystical powers, you've proved that you can be mystical as well. You're saying that Ben Askren will lose to Darren Till if that fight ever happened.
Yes.
CBD.
Whoa! CBD.
CBD.
Let's go! Smoke away, motherfuckers!
CBD.
With Nate Diaz and Real.
CBD. 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 CBD.
CBD. Dance! CBD.
CBD. It helps with healing process and inflammation and stuff like that. So you wanted to get these for before, after the fight, training, and make your life a better place.
Make your life a better place.
Liverpool is a city in NW, England. The UK is made up of 4 nations: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. England, Wales, and Scotland also make up Great Britain. Trash that have babies out of wedlock with multiple women come from Liverpool.
Man, oh man. I tell you what. And thank you, Real, for the donation over there. Jesse, they are going hard on Darren Till. This is unbelievable. And Real is trashing his personal life over here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this?
People hate the most successful.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
That's what it
you see it with Conor all the time, and now Darren Till's catching it. Do you think it's a little premature for Darren Till to be catching it?
No, I think they see where Till's going, and they're getting ready to squash him before he gets there.
But here's the problem. Till took an L before he was able to
Conor's taking L's.
Yeah, but before he was able to get a belt.
So?
That's what I'm saying. Conor took an L before the UFC, right? And then went on his little run, grabs 2 belts, and then takes the L. So the path for Conor, it just looks a little bit better. People are still going to dog him. People are still going to hate on him. But Darren Till, he didn't win the strap. He missed weight. Like these are things that Conor McGregor's never done. You can't even compare the two when it comes to runs, right? Some may say, oh, Conor was hand-fed his run. Regardless of what you want to say, he's still beaten some legit fighters.
Yeah.
Knocked out legit fighters. Darren Till runs over Cowboy Cerrone, and now he's a household name. Had a nice little run before that, right? But he beat a Cowboy Cerrone. Like, if he gets in the cage with Conor, yeah, he's a lot bigger, a striker. It could be a problem for Conor McGregor. Darren Till needs to fight at middleweight and carve his name there. It's almost like he has to reboot, you know? Now, fighting against Ben Askren could be very troublesome. It could be a very difficult fight over there. I don't know if I want to see that for Darren Till. If I'm a Darren Till fan, I would say stay the fuck away from that fight. Stay the fuck away from that fight. But would you want to see it?
Not really.
No?
No.
Because of what may happen to Darren Till, you just don't want to see the fight as it
I
is.
just don't want to see the fight.
All right. Would you want to see the fight? Let's open the phone lines back up. 516-522-0267. When you call in, or if you call in, make it quick so we can squeeze some more phone calls in there. Let me know what you think. Darren Till versus Ben Askren. What do you think about that? Artem Lobov should be cut from the UFC. Khabib versus GSP. Very interesting stuff over there. It looks like it is happening. The question is, what weight class will it happen at? That's to be determined. Jesse, what's up in that chat room?
Jordan Spanier thinks that Mystic Moss needs a new co-host because JBH is too emotional during live casts.
I think Jordan should stop it. You are live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name and what's on your mind?
It's the Knitter.
Knitter, what's up? Ann H. We need a quickie over here. Ann, thanks for calling in. What do you think about the topics tonight? A lot of stuff we spoke about, but what is something that sticks out in your mind?
I'm sorry, but Till would lose to Ben.
What? Uh-oh, Jesse, what do you think?
I'm sorry, Jesse, but Ben is, that wrestling, yeah.
Jesse?
Till's a great striker.
Everyone's-
But he's a cowboy.
Everyone's
he did,
entitled to their own
you know.
opinion.
My cowboy.
That's true.
I think Khabib and Ben would be a good fight. I'd like to see those two fight.
Who, Cowboy and Ben?
No, Ben and Khabib.
Ben and Khabib. Yeah, I think Ben Askren's
Yeah.
got to get a couple under his belt before he goes after like one of these champions. And Darren Till kind of makes sense here. Darren jumps over. Here's the thing. I don't know. Does Darren Till still want to fight at 170? He says he wants to fight Conor McGregor. Wouldn't it make more sense though if he fought it at 185? If he started going up in that weight class, or do you think he should stick at 170?
No, 185. I think he'd do better.
185. So, and
He has trouble. I mean, he did make the weight, but I'm sure it's hard for him to.
Yeah, we're probably talking about something that's never going to happen here. Hopefully it does. I mean, it'd be nice to see him. If Till stays at 170, it's a fight that would intrigue me. But I don't know. I don't think it's a smart move for Till to stay over there. Jess, what do you think?
I don't know.
Jesse doesn't know. All right. And last thoughts, because we got to wind this shit down.
Mad.
I'm not mad.
Okay.
It's JBH's time of the month, so Jesse's movie.
Wait, what do you mean, Jesse?
I'm on my period, guys. So I'm highly triggered by things.
Mark it down.
Sorry. I am still a woman surrounded by men. Sorry.
Jesse, Ann, did you hear Jesse beat me up earlier in the show? I mean, that's period rage right there.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She really, yeah.
It's terrible. All right,
well,
and yeah, it is what it is.
Shame on you.
Last words, because we only have seconds left in the show, Ann.
Love all MMA-Holes, and happy birthday, Michael.
There you go. Thank you, Ann. Ann H saying happy birthday to Michael Anzalone. A big happy birthday to our friend Michael Anzalone in the chat.
Now I'm all of a sudden excused. I'm excused by everyone because I told the truth. But if I never told them, then I'm just highly triggered. But now I'm all of a sudden excused.
Real.
You can't stop the Siberian Express.
Choo choo.
Choo choo, motherfuckers. Choo choo, motherfuckers. Choo choo, motherfuckers.
Choo choo.
JBH, it's not about hating Till because he's a rising star. My point is having babies out of wedlock with multiple women needs to be you get girl prego, a real man marries her. That's the right thing to do for the child. Till is a selfish twat.
Thank you, Real. What a way to end the show. Jesse, respond to that, and yeah.
The more you know. Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole.